I'm Anna Tim, founder of Wellness at Wilston, Internal Shred and Levelled Up. I help people with gut health and detox issues, people that are feeling like they're not living their best life due to symptoms like constipation, like bloating, like diarrhea, all those sorts of things, migraines, any sort of central nervous system dysregulation, anxiety, things like that. If you're in Brisbane, obviously you can come along to our clinic. We have different modalities, so the different services we have are colon hydrotherapy, which is cleaning out your second largest elimination organ. We have the DNA resignaling bed, which is all about central nervous system regulation, anyone with PTSD or anxiety, depression, those kind of conditions. That's a really amazing treatment for your central nervous system. We've got the far-infrared sauna, which is detoxing our largest elimination organ, which is our skin. And we have the cryotherapy chamber, which is good for boosting your immune system, flushing your lymphatic system. It also curbs any pain receptor sites, builds up collagen elastin in the skin. Really good for cellulite and weight loss, muscle recovery, really great for after surgery, all of that sort of jazz.
Anyone that meets Anna is going to walk through the doors at Wellness at Wilston. From the moment you walk into the clinic, it has that very warm, supported feeling. It doesn't matter if it's yourself there or one of your staff, it's the ambience, it's the feel of the clinic.
We also sell our supplement range out of there called Levelled Up. We also have our internal shred program, which is our heavy metal, parasite, SIBO and candida cleanse. So that's can be shipped globally, and it's got the protocol, so you're supported with an email structure every day, and you've got access to the book that I've created. So it's a full, thorough cleanse, and you're supported all the way through.
So the internal shred the concept is amazing, so having that whole heal and seal the gut. So it doesn't matter if you're not in Brisbane or near Wilston, or can't get here, then you can actually do the internal shred. The internal shred is amazing in the fact of the job that it does. Does it taste like shit? Absolutely, but it's only for 3 days. But it's the outcome that you're actually after. So what that actually does, and basically what it's doing is actually removing anything that's impacted on the walls of the colon. So as you go to the toilet, obviously, we don't release everything as much as we'd love to think that we are, and especially if you're a mother. I'll speak from a women's point of view because men can go 24/7, but women, as soon as we sit on the toilet, there's usually a child crying, something happening, and you have to leave, or you just don't bother going because, oh, hang on, I've got too much to do, and then you're, oh, hang on a sec, I don't need to go now. Oh, okay, so where does that go? So it's not that it's not there anymore, it's just impacting on the wall of the colon and not coming through. So, what that product does is release, and it is a fibre product, it is horrendous, and it's amazing. And the funniest thing is, I said to Anna that I think I need to do it again. So I bought a second tub. I can't believe it. Like, what a crazy, crazy woman.
Hi, and welcome to Wellness at Wilston. It's great to have you here in the clinic with us, and I love these questions that have been coming through. Why did we put the modalities that we have in the clinic? Why did we choose those? We're simply doing, what we're doing in the clinic is we're detoxing the 2 largest elimination organs. We're boosting the immune system, flushing the lymphatic system, and we're taking care of your central nervous system. So the way we do that, so the far-infrared sauna is all about your central nervous system. So it's a very relaxing treatment. It heats the body from the inside, and it opens up the pores, and it pushes the toxins out that way. So it's about 20 minutes before you start to sweat, and it's in the last 10 minutes where the magic happens, where you sweat out all the toxins. Most people fall asleep in there. I know I fall asleep in that treatment, and then it's a really beautiful segue into a decent night's sleep, and just feeling a lot lighter and brighter. It's a great cardiovascular workout for the body as well, and you're laying there just relaxing. So that's a really beautiful treatment. So the next modality we have is a cryotherapy chamber. Now, a lot of people don't know about this treatment. It's a bit of a biohack treatment, but it really helps with recovery. So those that are going to the gym, those that have got pain and inflammation, those that have got arthritis or any of those sort of conditions, it really helps helps with sleep. It helps with freezing fat cells. It helps with building up collagen and elastin in the skin. So what happens in that treatment is all of the blood rushes to the core to keep your vital organs alive. So remember, we're getting the body down to minus 150 degrees for 3 minutes only. So all of the blood rushes to the core, keeps your vital organs alive. And as you step out of the chamber, all of that now nutrient-dense oxygenated blood just starts rushing back to the extremities, giving you that feeling of euphoria. So what it's effectively doing is oxygenating all your cells, tissues and muscles. So people feel like they've got zero pain when they step out of the chamber, and they feel so alive, like they feel like they could run a marathon. So the age groups we're having into the clinic recently for the cryo chamber has been from, I think the girls were 14 or 15. They were cheerleaders. So a whole group of them come in for the cryo because they were doing lots of workouts and lots of like competitions. So a whole bunch of them come in recently. And we've had up to a 90-year-old female who had arthritis, and she loves the treatment. She was doing it once a week. She has moved now to another suburb, so she's no longer coming. But it was amazing for her pain and inflammation. It helped her with her sleep, helped her with the pain receptor sites. So it's a really good treatment. If you just need a bit of a reset, it's almost like it just flips a switch, and then you can start to look at your health from a different perspective, I guess. So that's a really beautiful treatment. 3 minutes, we guide you through it, we talk you through it. I haven't had anyone that screamed, get me there, get me out, or whatever. So generally people are really nervous, but once they get in the chamber and they're having the treatment and where they're guiding them and talking them through it, once they step out, they're like, wow, that was amazing. So don't let your nerves and your fear stop you from actually experiencing the beautiful benefits of an amazing treatment like that. Okay, so our DNA resonance bed. So what that treatment is doing, it's really good for PTSD, anxiety, depression, those that are feeling like they're in a bit of a funk too. So what it does is it activates your 64 trillion cells back into resonance, and what that means is back into balance. It gets the left and the brain back into coherence. It's basically just balancing out your whole system. So what it is, you're on a waterbed, the frequency gets put into the water, and because we're 75% water, it then goes into our cells, and clients are just saying that they feel super relaxed, that whatever they put out into this quantum field, because it's a quantum healing device, so whatever they put out to the quantum comes back to them tenfold. So we just say that if you're going to have a treatment in there, you need to have positive thoughts. And just we've been seeing some really amazing transformations in people from just being on that bed for a few sessions. So it goes for an hour. It's like a really deep meditative state. Some say they journey, some say they have more spiritual experiences on the bed, others just say they fall asleep. So just know that it's whatever happens on the bed, it's perfect. And just know that you're in a safe space. You've got a weighted blanket on, you've got an eye mask on over your eyes, you've got some music in your ears, and it's just really, really relaxing. So when you're in that heightened stress response, in that fight and flight, and you feel like you just need to get back into alignment, that's a really great treatment. It's all about balancing everything back to homeostasis, which means balance. It's a little bit of a vulnerable share, if I'm honest. So I was diagnosed with lipedema a couple of years ago. Most know that I healed myself of a chronic illness, and that's why I set up Wellness at Wilston, and the story's in my book called The Women Changing the World. But it's funny how, I don't know how, if you're spiritual or whatever that is, but it's almost like the universe or the angels or God or Buddha or Allah or whoever it is gives me these chronic illnesses for me to then work out how to fix them and then help others. So that's what happened. I feel that's what happened with the clinic. I had obviously terrible migraines daily for 8.5 years. I had terrible gut health, bowel health. My whole gut microbiome was wiped out with antibiotics. And then I had a surgery. Ever since that surgery, I started to gain weight, and I couldn't work out what was going on. And then I went into menopause. So this condition called lipedema is a condition that the fat cells grow, especially in times of menopause or hormonal changes. So it can happen when you're young, it can happen when you're in menopause. So I just was stacking on the weight, and I was like, I do all the right things, I eat really healthy, I've got all the detox protocols, I'm doing really well, like my gut health's really good, but I'm stacking on the weight and I couldn't understand why. Anyway, I went to a seminar once by Dr. Lekic, and it was about lipedema, and I was looking at the slides and I'm like, oh my God, that's me, that's me, that's me. And the doctor just kept shaming me, saying, Anna, you need to lose weight, stop eating so much. And I'm like, I barely eat, you know what I mean? So I guess lipedema for me is a bit of a shame, because I feel like I've got a wellness clinic and I should be at my utmost health. And I feel like I am very, very healthy, but I've got this condition that makes me overweight. So I have tried a few protocols that haven't really done anything. The doctors are saying that the only treatment for lipedema is surgery. Now, I've been down that route and I've had a look at what that looks like, and I can't have that surgery because I've got a little hole in my heart, and I've spoken to the heart surgeon and he said the hole's so small, Anna, that we can't actually operate. So the lipedema surgery is out for me because there's risk of having a stroke if you go under for lipedema surgery. And like, I look at the women that do that surgery and like, zero judgment, but I look at the way their legs are and the bruising and the recovery time of that, and I just feel like I love myself too much to put myself through that regardless. Even if I could have the surgery, I don't think I'd want to go through that because I would need 4 surgeries at $65,000, and then obviously it grows back. So not really a long-term fix for the condition. So I'm just trying different protocols. At the moment, I'm on homeopathy. So I've had a life of trauma. So I'm looking at energetics and then also addressing my DNA pathways, my elimination pathways, and my basically my DNA. So they're the 2 things that I'm working on at the moment. And it's almost like I get these conditions to then help others. So watch this space with my lipedema diagnosis. If you're interested, follow us on social media. But yeah, it's been an interesting little journey, knowing my worth and knowing who I am and knowing my knowledge around health and what I do in the clinic. There's been this internal turmoil where I think, am I worthy of actually guiding people through this when I'm in a condition like this myself, But my friends and my support network knocked me back into reality very quickly and remind me of how, we've got over nearly 6,000 clients in the clinic now that we've helped. We've had 3,500 go through our internal shred program. We've transformed lives and we've helped people with their health immensely. So, I think it's been a really interesting journey. So watch this space and we'll see what we can do with this condition. So colon hydrotherapy, our absolute most favourite treatment by all of our clients. We've got 2 rooms here side by side, so we have to often get mums and dads, we get best friends coming in and doing colonics together. Obviously they go to their separate rooms, but we've found in the clinic we're getting a lot of a younger age bracket coming in for these treatments. So when we first started the clinic 6 years ago, we had predominantly 45 to 55-year-old females, and now we're getting anywhere from 21 to the same age bracket, maybe a little bit older as well, but we're getting them coming in for a series of colonics because they have the first one and they love it so much that then they book generally a 3 or a 6 pack. So I guess the benefits of this treatment is most people walk out feeling lighter and brighter. They just go, I just feel so much lighter. Because what you have to understand is this is the open system colonic. So you dump a lot of waste, generally even on the first session. Because what we're doing is we're softening and then you're releasing, and so you're activating that peristalsis to squeeze and push that stool out into the viewing tube, and then it goes out into the sewage system. But what happens is it's about 3 to 6 sessions in a 1 to 2 week period, and we love to do it like that. We love to do it very close because when you're in the session, you're actually softening it. So the next time you come in, you're flushing that waste away. So people say that they sleep better, they feel better, they start to make different lifestyle choices. So they stop eating so much junk food and they want to eat healthier, they want to make healthier choices. They start to exercise again, so they start to ride their bike or they go to the gym or they go for a walk after dinner. And it just seems to change their lifestyle as well. Some say that they don't drink as much alcohol. So it's just like a full body reset because you're getting rid of all the waste. All of the other organs have a chance to dump their waste as well. So you've got liver, lymphatic system, kidneys all dumping their waste as well when you're having a colonic. The other thing is it's hydrating at a cellular level. So hydration at a cellular level just picks up people's skin, picks up their hair. It's just a lot of people are dehydrated and they don't even realise it. So when you're having a colonic, you're actually hydrating at that cellular level, which is really really good for overall health and glow and that vitality that you see in people when they come out of the colonic room. And also because they're dumping so much waste, people don't realise how toxic they are until they come in and start seeing what comes out of their colon. Now, people go, oh, we never used to do this, and our parents never used to do it either, but they used to do enemas and they used to do parasite cleansing. So I think we live in a toxic world now, like, the air, our water's got chemicals in it, our food's sprayed with different things, glyphosate and whatever. So I think it's almost impossible to be toxin free. So I think it's just part of, think about putting your car in for a service, it's running a bit sick, you clean out the filters and all of that stuff, and then the car's running better. So I think that everybody should be doing colon hydrotherapy, well, those that are not contraindicated to it. So I think everyone should be doing it as part of their prevention routine or their preventative health. So I think it's super important to understand and not be frightened of this treatment. Colonics has been around for like decades, hundreds of years. So there's all that research. You can have a look at yourself. If you're nervous, it's quite normal. Most of our clients that come into the clinic are super nervous. And as soon as they start releasing the first release, they're like, oh, get out, like, I'm fine. So just know that everyone comes in nervous, and it's as soon as they've finished, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I was worried about that. It comes out of all of our clients' mouths. And you can have a look at our Google reviews, what people say about it. So I just want you to consider adding something like this into your health to prevent illness rather than trying to cure something down the track, right? So it helps with sleep, helps with obviously getting rid of waste, so your cellular health becomes a lot healthier. Helps with digestion. So if we get rid of the waste, then your body can actually assimilate the nutrients out of your food. And it helps with exercise, with energy, with vitality, all those sorts of things. It's just systemically, it's an amazing treatment. So let's talk about the program that I created, the one that helped me fix my gut health issues. Now, this is not a program for the faint-hearted. This is for those who really want to transform their gut health and to repopulate a new colony of microbiome so that you're strengthening up your immunity for the next 12 months or so. So this is basically a colonic at home. So you're 7 days on this product, so it cleans out the large colon, and then we're going on to the parasite cleanse, which is 21 days. So paracleanse and the fiber product, so that's got 36 herbs in it, and it's all about cleaning out the parasites from the mouth right down to the anus, scrubbing the fecoid mucoid plaque off the colon wall. So that's all about cleaning out house. And then we're putting in the diversity of good bacteria and we're feeding it to set up a new colony. So this program has helped over 3,500 clients in our clinic so far. Two clients that come to mind straight away is the Hashimoto's lady. So in 3 weeks of just being on the shred, her inflammation markers went from about 1,200 to about 600, so halved, and her doctors were bewildered that she had such crazy results, and they've been treating her with medication for 10 years and nothing could get those inflammatory markers down. So she is sold on this product and she tells everybody about it. And the other one is a guy who is into health optimization. So he's a biohacker, and he said on his Garmin, I'm not sure what that is, but he reckons that his results since doing the shred, and he's done a lot of juice cleansers and a lot of different cleansers, he reckons that his results have gone exponential. So his sleep health is next level, his exercise stats, his resting heart rate, and all of that stuff has absolutely exponentially gotten better from this cleanse. He's actually just ordered another one for his wife. So, because she's like seen the benefits of what he's done and she's like, I want to do it as well. So yeah, I want you to understand what this program is. It's not just a parasite cleanse. It's actually cleaning out the toxins. It's actually then killing off the bad bacteria. So it's heavy metals, candida, parasites, and SIBO. And then what we're doing is we're repopulating the organ with a diversity of good bacteria, and then we're feeding it to set up that new colony. So very thorough program. You've got a booklet that comes along with it. You've got an email coming to your inbox every day. So you've got support in a WhatsApp or a Facebook chat, whatever you choose. And then you've got support in there from me personally. So if you're feeling off, a little bit tired, a little bit weary, a little bit like bloated in the stomach, feeling unwell, just not digesting your food properly, maybe not assimilating the nutrients properly out of your food, it might be time for a really deep cleanse. Now, in my clinic, if you can get here, I suggest you do at least 4 colonics first and then start on the shred. If you can't get into the clinic, this is why I've designed this program, so that people that can't get into the clinic can actually have the same benefits that our clients get when they come to visit us. So I want people to have hope. Basically, that's why I set the clinic up, is I felt like in my darkest moments, like I thought in my eyes, the doctor was going to save me and help me and heal me and fix me. Like I put all of my faith in him. And I got to a point where I was like, he's not helping me. He's not saving me. He's not going to fix this for me. Like, I don't know what it is, but he's not it. And I felt like I was on this roller coaster of doctors and specialists and this test and this brain scan and this. And I just felt like I was poked and prodded everywhere and zero answers except depression. But I wasn't depressed. I was in chronic pain. My stomach was not working properly. My migraines were disgusting, like terrible. What I want out of this documentary is to give people hope. The other thing I want you to remember is coming back to you. Innately, the body knows how to heal, right? If you cut yourself, do you fix it? No, the body heals itself, right? So we have this beautiful, call it gift from God or angels or Buddha or again, you know, whoever it is or whoever created this, it knows what to do. It breathes itself. The heart beats itself. It knows what to do. It's not about pharmaceutical drugs or all this stuff all the time. Like it knows how to heal. So my whole purpose of this role that I'm playing in Earth right now is about getting you to remember that in the right environment, the body can heal itself. That's a little bit about me and why I started the clinic. Was basically just to help people.
I think going in there, a lot of us realise that gut health is, you know, it's a bit of a buzzword, but it actually is really an issue for a lot of people. So whether they're suffering, you know, from all manners of disease or just bloating, a general feeling of being unwell, I think that a lot of people also don't realise that their immune system's in their gut.
Probably the most common thing I saw that people came into the clinic for was bloating. That was huge. Every single time someone would come in, they'd just say, oh, I eat this and I really struggle with bloating and it's every day. And they'd come in bloated, full belly. They'd get on the colonic bed, they'd leave and their belly was flat. And, you know, we'd take them through the internal shred program and the bloating would stop. They just wouldn't have any issues with that after eating food. And that to me is huge because I know that almost every woman I speak to about it suffers with bloating.
Having a colonic, and I've had them for a serious illness, for a breast lump, and that was with a different machine. So I've tried different machines, and that was with someone facilitating that process, and that helped me recover and not have to go through the traditional pathways, if I can say that. But going into the clinic, filling out the forms, it's methodical, you're supported, you're asked all the appropriate questions. I do have a pharmacy background, so dispensary technician background. So knowing that the right questions are being asked and being answered before you even step into there, I think that's a big thing, that you're so well supported within that space. There's instructional videos, but you're doing it yourself. So you don't, if you're feeling a little bit apprehensive of someone else seeing, doing, whatever, you're actually fine. Like, you know, I was, what do you mean I have to do it myself? I don't know what I'm doing, but you do. So, you know, I think that was it's a big no-go zone. Like, to be honest, like, let's be serious. Like, there's not a lot of people that are going to say, yeah, I'll put my hands up for that show. Oh, sorry, literally.
How do you work with us at the clinic? Basically, if you're in Brisbane, you can come along to the clinic, you can have a consultation. We can take you through what we think's best for you with the modalities in the clinic and with our protocols. If you don't live in Brisbane and you want support, we also do gut health consultations online. We can send you the protocols, we can send you the packages, we can talk you through your gut health and see what's best for you. Colonics is always going to be great if you're starting any sort of gut health cleanse. Is my belief and my witnessing all of our clients through the journey of the last 6 years of the clinic. Just the transformations, honestly, it's like day and night. So you look at a person come in, their shoulders are held in, they don't want to talk a lot, they're feeling unwell, they've generally got a headache or they're bloated or their stomach's uncomfortable, they haven't had a bowel movement for many days. They're just out of balance. You can see it in just their whole persona. And when they come out of the colonic room, it's like this whole shift. Oh my God, I feel so light, I can't believe it, I can't believe what come out of me, and blah, 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 blah. It's just this whole day and night shift, right? So just to witness the transformations has been absolutely incredible, and hence why I keep doing the work that I'm doing, and hence why I want to educate more people to help more people, because my story is 8.5-year chronic illness, had migraines every day, had terrible gut health, couldn't go to the toilet for sometimes up to 2 weeks at a time, was down to 4 or 5 foods. At one stage, chicken and broccoli, basically that was it. At one point, that's all I was eating. My partner at the time said to me, you know, you've been in so much pain, why don't you go and get yourself a facial? And I was like, you don't even know me. Like, I'm a beauty therapist. I've got the best skincare. I don't need a facial. I need someone to help me with this pain and this physical symptoms that I'm having. Anyway, it was that day that I spoke to the big guy upstairs, call it God, call it Buddha, call it Allah, call it whatever you want, angels, universe. I said, if you help me to get well, I promise I will help others. Like this, I can't keep going on like this. It was like a real hands down, like kneeling to the ground moment, full surrender. Across my feed, not moments later, was a voucher for a colon hydrotherapy and a far infrared sauna. And I was like, colon hydrotherapy, never heard of that, but you know, here we are, let's go. Listening to that intuition, let's go. And honestly, that day was life-changing for me. Didn't cure me or heal me in that moment, but it was so profound that it made me stand up and look at like what is happening for me, like what is going on and what have I just done, what's just happened to me. So what I then started researching was gut health, and I'd worked out that I'd just opened up the pathways to 2 of my elimination organs, 1 being my skin, which is our largest elimination organ, 2 being my gut, which is our second elimination pathway. Then going down that route, obviously I felt better, but I didn't, the symptoms weren't fully gone, and I was like, what am I missing? What's going on? So I started on this gut cleansing. So I started all the weird and wonderful and wacky parasite cleansers out there. I'd done all of them. I'd been to my GP. I'd had the same GP for many years. He was a GP for my kids. And I kept saying to him, like, it's getting worse. Like, I'm so bad. Like, the migraine's just never leaving, and I can't go to the toilet. And he basically just sat me down and said, you know, you've got depression. And I was like shocked. Went on the medication. I went on his antidepressants and the anti-anxiety medication. I'd already been on so many antibiotics. He tried me on every different antibiotic. I felt like I was just like a lab rat, just trying all these things. And I mean, I feel like he didn't even know what was happening with me when he was just like, we'll try this, we'll try that, we'll try this. No one was talking about my nutrition. No one was talking about my detox pathways. When I had that experience for my first colonic and I started to clean up those pathways, I started to really dive into gut health. And that was addressing the heavy metals, the fungal overgrowth, the SIBO overgrowth, which is the fermentation, the bad bacteria, the fermentation through the digestive system, and the parasites. So all together, breaking up the biofilm actually killing that bacteria, scrubbing it through, getting rid of the fecoid mucoid plaque off the colon wall, and then repopulating with a diversity of good bacteria, and then feeding that to set up a new colony, is when I really got to a stage where I was healed within my body. I was starting to assimilate the nutrients out of my food then. I was starting to eliminate properly 2 to 3 times a day, and I'd felt like I'd evacuate every time. They made me feel really uncomfortable in the stomach, like I would be like bound up and then it would just be loose everywhere, and I'd be like, oh my God, I need to find a toilet. It was just awful times. So I feel like what I've created in the clinic is stuff that's transformational, but also works within your lifestyle. So you can be on my cleanse, like every time I've been on the cleanse, I've still worked through it. I mean, obviously there's a couple of times where you're a bit bloated and little bit headachy, but it passes fairly quickly. So you don't have to change your whole lifestyle. You don't have to stop doing all the things that you do. You basically just take the products and get on with your life, but you're cleaning out and you're repopulating and you're resetting your immune system, boosting your immunity obviously as well, but cleaning out all the bad stuff so that you can actually start to assimilate the nutrients out of your food. I want to get the message out to more people because the treatments are simple, sent to us. I've had a 93-year-old pastor. He used to come to us. He came to us for many, many years, so 93. So between 10 and 93, everybody in between there has done that. Sometimes it's more about prevention rather than trying to cure something. So get onto your health early and start to make sure those pathways are working. I think it's important to start to do prevention rather than trying to cure something down the track, right? Before you come to the clinic, you fill out our consultation form. It's 3 pages long. And then you have a consultation, which is a thorough consultation. We go through all of your prior history, what's happening for you now. Obviously, the treatments in the colonic rooms are not for everybody. I'm very, very strict on that. So I don't treat people with diverticulitis. We don't treat women in pregnancy if they're first trimester and third trimester. If you've been a client of ours in the second trimester, absolutely we'll treat you. But I'm probably the strictest clinic in Brisbane because your health is my main concern. So if there's any ifs, buts or maybes, I'll get you to go and get the doctor clearance. So if you can't come into the clinic or if you can't have a colonic based on contraindications, we can absolutely help you with different protocols, with different supplements, depending on what the concern is, obviously. And then we've got educational videos where we show you what's happening for you while you're having the treatment, what's happening. We talk about aftercare. We show you how actually the treatment runs and what you need to do as a part of being in the clinic and having the treatment. What we do in the clinic is, depending on what it is, say diverticulitis, for instance, we would work on healing and sealing the organ first, tightening the junctions. So you've got the junctions, you would heal and seal, tighten the junctions and regrow the villi. So obviously if there's infection, we'll get rid of the infection first, and then we'll work on healing and sealing that organ, tightening the junctions, regrowing the villi, and balancing out the microbiome through the whole digestive tract. And then we'll look at what sort of detox you need to do, basically. So if it's severe diverticulitis, we can do enemas safely once we've healed and sealed the organ. Once you can get a colonoscopy and you'll get a clearance, then obviously you can be safe to go on the colonic beds. But I just don't treat them. I don't treat diverticulitis until we've done some healing and sealing, and that takes between 3 to 6 months. Well, we're always working alongside your medical team. Even when my daughter had her allergies and she was anaphylaxis and all of those things that she had, I also work with Professor Pete Smith based on how do we get her off all that medication and how do we wean her and all of that sort of stuff. So I've worked with doctors like that of Professor Pete's calibre since Bella, she's 21 now, so for 21 years.
From as far back as I can remember, I've obviously had really bad eczema. Like I remember in school, it would be bleeding, welting. It was awful. So I always dealt with that. I always dealt with allergies. I always had anxiety. You know, our diet probably wasn't the best to begin with. I remember the doctors had me on like 100 medications a day. It was crazy. I was on all this France testing, all these trials they were trying to put me through. And I was probably just declining, to be honest. My health was honestly probably just declining. Until, we worked with Professor Pete Smith and you changed my diet around and we went fully natural. So I just use all natural supplements. I'm not on any medications from any doctors and I am fine. I don't get eczema anymore these days. I manage my anxiety very well. I think when you start to get those sort of Herc symptoms, you're not really feeling the best, maybe you haven't been eating that well recently. You took me to the DNA bed. We didn't, there wasn't one in the clinic just yet. So we went to the shop front and they tested all my levels. They showed me where I was sitting with everything, and I was in high stress. I was in very high anxiety, very high stress. And you can see with all the levels, they were, compared to everything else, that was up here. I got on the DNA bed for about an hour. I think I fell asleep for a little bit of it, but the other part of it, my brain was just going and it was just ticking and ticking, and what can I do? Like, how can I help myself? And it was all like very positive thoughts. And I think I came off that bed transformed. I left a really toxic job that I was in that really wasn't serving my mental health at all. So yeah, things just started to fall into place. I got an amazing job offer. I feel like I've settled back into Brisbane. I've got my family around me again. I've got all my friends. I have an amazing support system. I'm currently relaunching another business that I've got. Like, everything has just sort of happened for me. And as much as I do still have that low-lying anxiety, it's not panic attacks. I'm not hating my life and not wanting to live it.
Control of it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
control it.
I do have the stress, I'm very busy. I've got a lot going on, but it's good stuff and I'm happy about it and I love it.
Yeah.
I walked away from there literally feeling like a different person.
When I came in, I was suffering from a lot of issues, digestive issues, gas, constipation, struggling with my mental health. And we had quite a lot of conversations when I first came in, and I shared really vulnerably with you where you're at. And you actually seem to have a lot of understanding of that connection between your gut and your mental health. And this is a piece that I'm really excited about and studying recently, is that relationship between the gut and the brain, that gut-brain axis. And things like, wow, 90% of our serotonin is produced in our gut. And we produce neurotransmitters, it's incredible. I'm fascinated. So I'm watching a webinar. And so when I came in, initially I think I did a course of your 3 colonics. Yeah. And that was kind of like a lot of gas was coming out, and that was an initial step. And I remember, like, on the 3rd day you said that you get sort of a liver clean out. And we did get to that point where there was a clean out. And then I came back in again to see you. Again, you recommended the Ultimate Fiber and the Paracleanse. And at this point, I did purchase those, but it's something that I had to really find the gumption to go, right, I'm going to get these herbs down. So at the moment, I am doing the Ultimate Fiber. I am doing the internal shred challenge with the Paracleanse, the internal cleanse. So that one, as you've told me, brings water into the colon and helps to eliminate, and it's a flush. Yeah. It's going well. I have gone down 1 or 2 dress sizes since I've been cleansing. It's been a couple of months. It's reducing gas, I'm working at cleaning out. I think some pretty gnarly things are coming out of my body with the parasite cleanse, and it's actually getting exciting. Like, I feel inspired to keep going, and I know that it's going to be a process and a journey, but it's like I can already see on the horizon with the results that I'm getting that I'm going to have less brain fog, better mental health. Like, I can see that, and it's inspiring me, whereas before I felt very depressed, dejected. I'd say that there's some healing crisis has been happening. Yeah. It's but also feeling better. So both. I mean, you have to look after yourself. Like, it's quite a rigorous program to be on, and I've sort of, had to sort of take a break from the Ultra Fiber for a couple of days and just listening to my body, but then I'm still using the internal cleanse, so if I do that. But it's a whole picture of health, right? Yeah. Being more hydrated helps, move the toxins out of our body. So it's needs to be looked at holistically, as you know. And I've also used the DNA bed in here, which is amazing. You had a lymphatic compression bed at some point, which I loved. So I definitely recommend coming here. I have been to other colon therapist before, but I feel really comfortable with you. I feel like you know your stuff. And I feel like you're also an inspiring role model.
Hi team, we've got Corey Oates here from the Brisbane Broncos. Corey, you've been coming to the clinic for a while. Just wanted to tap into you today and just ask you how you're feeling since you first started at the clinic and what sort of changes you've felt in your body since starting with us.
Yeah, well, that's why I obviously like coming back to the colonics. It's I think it surprised a lot of people, that one, but yeah, I just feel that I just cleaner, feel a lot better about myself doing it. Recovery and all that sort of stuff is a big part of I guess life. It's not just athletes and sports people. It's like you said, a lot to do with just general life. And I learned that the hard way, that you need to be really focused on your recovery and looking after your body. But it's something that I really like doing.
Yeah. And so, would you say your favourite treatment in the clinic is the colonics?
I would say it's my favourite, but it's
I'd say that's what makes you feel the best.
It's just something I actually like doing. I was pretty scared the first time, but after doing it and just the things you put in your body and what it can do for your insides and cleans you out. It's something that you don't really think about, but you got to look after your body and you got to be careful what you put in your body. But sometimes you like to treat yourself, but it just makes you feel better and and everything else, the sauna and the massage,
The lymphatic compression.
the compression. It's just all in one. Feels good and just makes me feel better about
It's
myself.
just like a reset, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Yep.
And that's why I like doing it.
So I think a lot of people feel guilty about what they eat and what they're feeling and what they're putting in their body, but we need to think about the environmental toxicity, right? So what we're breathing, what we're drinking, what's in our water, because we've got fluoride in our water, so it's a toxin to the body, what's sprayed on our fruit and veggies. So I want people not to be guilty about what they're eating, and I want them to understand that it's simple as doing a few of these detoxes to actually feel better and to prevent any sort of illness in the body. So you were saying that you already had some sort of illness and you did it the hard way, but now you've understanding and you've educated yourself and you know that it's all about detoxing your body and looking after yourself to prevent anything happening in the future. So well done. All right, well, thanks for coming in and for supporting us. We're again. No worries, we wish you the best of luck next year.
Thank you, Renee.
Thanks, Dylan.
We don't work out of our scope. We basically stay within our scope, and we never cure or heal or give you any sort of diagnosis like that. But there's definitely solutions to help with any sort of illness. Anything that there's dysregulation in the body, especially gut health, detox, central nervous system regulation, anything like that, that's what we work on. If we can sit in that space and recognise that self-care is super important, and I want you to actually take some time out. So hence why the clinic is there for people like that, for you to have it's a sanctuary. It's a place of hope. It's a place of healing. It's a place of wellness. It's a place of education, empowerment. It's all of those things so that you can actually land there and get done what you need to get done so that you can go out and then create your most amazing life, because that's what was happening for me. So talking about our star of the show, which is colon hydrotherapy, we had a 10-year-old. Since we've had her in, I prefer to look after clients of that age with supplements or enemas because I just feel like they're a little bit too young. So I've set the age at 15 now in the clinic, and they have to have a parental guardian with them. So 16 on their own, right up until whatever age. There's no age limit. As long as you don't have any contraindications, and those contraindications are diverticulitis, chronic heart disease, any sort of bowel cancer, anything like that. So there's massive contraindications to having the treatment, so not everyone can have it, right? And hence why we do a thorough consultation. Generally, everybody should be doing colonics. If your bowels aren't working and moving and evacuating 2 to 3 times a day, and you're having a solid movement where you feel like you've evacuated everything, you've got some stagnation there, which means the river's not flowing, which means you need to get that pathway
back up and running again and cleaned out so that you can actually start to assimilate the nutrients. So yeah, colonics is for everybody, and especially those people, anyone with symptoms, anyone under stress. So stress is really the DNA bed when we want to really work on the central nervous system, and then we work on the gut health, because the central nervous system is the biggest part, right, of the puzzle. We have a Colonic Club membership. You can do it once a month. Or you can come in and do a bowel reset. That's usually 3 to 6 sessions in a 1 to 2 week period. I think people are suffering with central nervous system dysregulation the most. So when you're in a stress response, your colon holds on. So everything holds on for dear life. So you get into this fight, flight and freeze. So a lot of our clients that come in are in a freeze response, which means their bowels are like tightening up and so the bowels are supposed to be obviously relaxed, and you're supposed to have a bowel movement and let things pass. It's like the river running, right? But when there's a tree across it and there's stress response, nothing's moving and nothing's flowing like it should. Most people don't even realise they have central nervous system dysregulation. And when the left and the right brain are not in coherence, which means in balance, the systems are not working properly. Completely. So then you get into gut dysregulation, so constipation, colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, diverticulitis, diarrhea, all those sorts of things, right? So, and also just not evacuating properly, feeling bloated, getting fermentation through that organ, all of those sorts of symptoms. It's all like a cascade effect, right? So if the brain's not working properly because we're in freeze, then it cascades down to the liver, which is not then cleaning the blood. So we're feeling lethargy, we don't have enough energy, we've got brain fog, and then that goes down further past the liver into the gut. We're obviously not breaking down the food properly, so then as it gets further down the track, you can't actually assimilate the nutrients out of it, and then you can't actually eliminate properly because the transit time slows right down, so then you're getting constipated. So you just understand that it's a ripple effect. Think about what's in your skincare products, in your hair products, in your makeup. We're bombarded with toxins from everywhere. So what happens is the proteins are actually leaking through the gut. So a lot of people have got something that's called leaky gut. So when we talked about the structure of the colon, we like the junctions to be nice and tight, healed and sealed. So if you get something called the leaky gut, you're getting the proteins leaking through, which is causing autoimmune disorder. So many people have got an autoimmune disease. We've got an amazing client that's just been through a Hashimoto's protocol with us, and her levels were over 1,000. And they've dropped now to half, and she's only been on the cleanse for 3 weeks. So, amazing results there. But we're working on healing and sealing that organ, right? So yeah, I think there's a lot of leaky gut. Proteins are going through, causing that inflammatory response. People are getting joint pain, all of that sort of autoimmune disease. It all starts in the gut. Your brain chemicals start in the gut. So we need to start focusing on, one, your detox pathway, which is the colon, and then your gut. What's happening in there? Do you have a balance of good and bad bacteria? Because we don't want to wash away all the bad. We want a balance of good bacteria, and we want a diversity. So you want to think about a diverse range of good and bad bacteria, because they've all got a role to play, right? And then you want to feed them to encourage that colony to grow. And how do you know if you've got a good colony? Well, all the things. You're sleeping well, your skin's great, your hair's great, you've got enough energy, you're not having a coffee or a chocolate at 3 o'clock because you've slummed in energy. You've got 0 symptoms but energy and living your best life, right? So they're the sort of things we look out for.
So people aren't realising their health issues. I think for me, having that in that situation of sickness helped me recover a lot better. I think that led me to, when I had met Anna, I already had an awareness. And a lot of people do have an awareness that they don't feel great. And it might be just tired, lethargic, not having the energy that we once did. And we're all doing the same thing. We're doing, the same activities, eating the same foods. We're doing all those things, but what's changed? And whether it's age and stage, or whether, and I'm finding younger people now, because I am a mum of 3, younger people are having that bloated feeling. So it might be, the processing of the foods and things like that. So I think having that gut cleanse is a very good way. Now, I've done both the colonics in the clinic, which I'll go into that, but I've also done the shred program, and the shred program is fabulous because it shreds that whole toxic waste or the waste out of that colon, which is fabulous.
And the second thing is our sauna. So far infrared sauna, really good for central nervous system dysregulation. Also, it's good for calming your nervous system. It's good for your cardiovascular system. It's good for your skin, so it opens up your pores, so it heats from inside and pushes the toxins out. So a lot of people feel very relaxed after they've come out of that treatment. Cryotherapy chamber, one of my favourite treatments in the clinic, apart from colonics, obviously. Actually, they're all my favourite, I shouldn't say that. Cryo is really good for just that invigoration. Like, oh my God, I feel alive. You get out of the chamber, you feel so good. You feel so alive. You have energy. People say they sleep the best after a cryo session. Zero pain. So we've had a lot of people come in after surgery, and you know that one lady came in after a tummy tuck, and her stomach was so tight and she couldn't even lay down in bed. Any way she laid, it was stretching, and she was in so much pain. She hadn't slept for 4 nights. She came and had a cryo, life-changing. So her partner carried her in basically, and she walked out, she's like, look at me. You know what I mean? Because it heals so quickly. Like, it's amazing what happens there. Good for weight loss, good for cellulite, so it really gets to oxygenate all the cells, tissues and muscles, gets things moving, because obviously all of the blood comes into the core to keep your vital organs alive. As you step out of the chamber and come back to temperature, all of that oxygenated blood rushes back to the extremities. So you can imagine that healing that's happening with all that oxygenated blood rushing back. It's such a great feeling. So cryotherapy is amazing for athletes. It's really good for recovery, and obviously for when they want to perform at their best. It's going to oxygenate all the cells, tissues and muscles, which is obviously going to make their performance greater and stronger and better, and they're going to have a lot more energy to do that. The body can't be in an ill state in an oxygenated body. Like, it just doesn't, the two don't work like that. So if you're oxygenated and you're doing really well, then you're healthy, right? If you're in a disease state, you're in an acid state generally, and that's zero oxygen, is in an acidic state. So for people in the age bracket that I'm in, if you're wanting to think about your health and how you can prevent disease and be well through your older years, the best probably place to start is in the cryo chamber. I just think if we come back to real foods, protein, good quality fats, fibre, the stuff that our body can recognise, it can utilise the nutrients out of it, take it, assimilate it. Obviously you need to look at the structure of that firstly, like what does it look like when it's coming in? Is the colon, the junctions tight? Is it healed and sealed? Is the villi there ready to uptake the nutrients to feed all the cells, tissues and muscles? And then put the stuff in that's actually recognisable by the body. Protein, good quality fats, fibre. You know, bring it back to basics. We don't need to be fancy. We just need to give our body the nutrients that it needs to function. So I think cleaning out the organ, repopulating, putting some good stuff in, and then just looking at your nutrition, utilising food that as medicine, rather than having all these pharmaceutical drugs and a lot of supplements that are really, I find, not necessary. They're just Band-Aids really. They just are putting a Band-Aid over a symptom and not really addressing the root cause. And in the clinic, we like to really get into the root cause of why something's happening for you. If you do take supplements, like if you do a protocol with us in the clinic, our supplements are formulated by myself and my naturopath. He makes them in Brisbane for me. So I know that it's high quality ingredients that are going into these supplements. It's not full of fillers and binders and all sorts of rubbish. So know that you know you're getting something that's actually specific for that job, and you don't have to be on it forever, right?
So watching Mum over the years really step into her power of this business as a woman as well, a woman business owner, has empowered me to make change myself. So I, share all these things on my platforms, on social media. I model now, I'm setting up 2 businesses. Like, I'm really taking on that entrepreneurial side of her. And I love that. It's a massive change for women, and I'm so proud of my mum as well. I am. Yeah.
So I think my whole journey has led me to a space of wanting to have health and wealth. My whole purpose is about empowering women, especially women, because I'm a woman and I've been through the journey that I've been through, and I've learnt what I've learnt and I want to share that knowledge with others now, but I want them to be in a safe central nervous system. So I want it to feel safe, they're educated, they know what they know exactly what they're doing, they know how to do it. I want to educate them so that they know how to be healthy and wealthy.